Yes, the girls wanted me to mention the fact that my grandmother, on my mother's side, was like looked upon as being basically a white witch because she was did help the birthing children and things like that, and she made a great deal of different. She called them tinctures and compotes. I think they were different in some respects, but anyway, the she made it from as far as I can remember, dandelions and what are we called figures were plantain and but a number of things, and the other thing was that she treated women for a lot of their different problems. And one of the things that she was going out to, I was there, and she said, Freddie, do you know where the stinkweed is? Okay, do you know where the stinkweed is? And I said, yeah, is that the stuff that Uncle Len used to pick up? And I forget, Len was away at the time, and she said, yeah, did you know where it is? Because I don't know where it is. Yeah, well, it's over there. He says, you be careful. It may belong to somebody, but and I said, the plants were only about maybe 2 feet high, and she said, well, uh, pull them careful, I want the roots too. And she said, don't take all you can find. Just take some of them and bring them back. Now this was probably, I imagine, September, October of the time of the year. And anyway, she made the tincture for ladies who had emotional problems, who were having trouble birthing, and a bunch of other things. And it seems to me, just I didn't smell them, so I can't tell you by smell, but by looking at them and the shape of them, and the plants you see now are huge by comparison. But I really believe they were the same thing because my hands, after I got these things, must have smelled off for about maybe 2, 3 days. And anyway, she used to make both tincture and compote out of that. And what she used to do is the compote, I know, was everything. Everything was chopped up and put in and boiled on the back of the stove where you would know this wood stove where this is where you would simmer something. That pot sat there for I wouldn't know how long. It was there for maybe uh, a day or two. Because anyway, that's what was the compote, and she what came out of there was the water, and there was the stems were coarse, and the root bulb was coarse, like when the roots came in. But about halfway down the roots, she cut them off. Excuse me. And then this and the cooked leaves, the stems were taken out, and but the roots were kept, and the bottom of them. And I'm trying to think that I believe she had something like a it was something like I guess like a juicer. It was kind of cone shaped, and it had a roller that ran around on the inside, a little crank on top, and she'd stick this in the top of a bottle, and she'd crank it in the bottle. And after she finished all of this stuff, she put it on the windowsill on the sun side of the house. And she had different bottles. She only used the newest bottle, but these bottles sat there for a bit of a fair bit of time. but I know that, and also dandelion wine. She used not. She used primarily the flowers. She didn't leave the leaves; they're too bitter, and she used roots. And she made a dandelion wine that was, if it was just the flowers, it tasted good. But if it was the flowers and the roots, it had a bitter taste to it. And I think that she used to use that for coughs, and coughs and colds, or sore throats, if I remember correctly. Now that's about the only two of them that I remember. But she had a book that had all sorts of dried samples of different weeds and flowers and stuff. Then this book was probably, I would say, oh, 4 or 5 inches thick, uh, maybe 9, 10 inches wide, probably a foot tall, maybe a little more. So that's the bit I said, and I don't know where the family book went, because when my Uncle Lynn died, his wife threw out a tremendous amount of stuff just out of hand and gave away anybody that came along and wanted this or wanted that. She gave it to them. And again, that was her prerogative. She was allowed to do that. But there's an awful lot of interesting stuff that disappeared at that time, especially a lot of the old family pictures. And this book, and I started to try and read it. Look into it, and read it one time. And I just got my fanny slapped and told that wasn't for children. So that's the story. That's the story of Grandma and the stuff that she made. But she had. I'm trying to think of what this. There was one liquid that was up there, was what you call the alcohol. I don't know how. I think that they kind of made their own alcohol, but anyway, it was alcohol, and whatever it was done with it, it had this kind of a yellowy green color to it. And I know that she gave it to my grandpa. He had a bad heart. She gave this to him usually pretty well every evening with about 3/4 of a shot of brandy or rye. And he hung on with a bad heart for years. Anyway, that's my tale of woe. So you got it. Okay, Didi. I'll hit the button.
Perfect.